Hello everybody, this is the end of my day. Now, I was going to do a weld start. So the other day I had to straighten out the firing order, the wires, the plugs. I went through all that with you. I touched the starter and the damn thing took off running. 4.5 hours before that, I couldn't get it to turn over. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting ready to douse it with some gas. I got electric fuel pump to keep some pressure on that fuel line, in case the factory pump is a little weak from age. So we'll just, there you go, it needs a drink. And it drips out, which is good. I might be able to clean this up and use it. I don't know yet. I'm really on a zero budget on this build. Brittany is over, okay, and being shut down because I've got a health issue that's going to shut me down working on it, probably. So I'm not going to worry about it. Let's give it a few minutes to vaporize and do whatever it wants to do. This is what we did last time, okay? This is a weld start. I explained everything I did and what didn't work to get it started. And then I went in and showed you, I turned the key, pushed the start button to show you I had the starter and everything working, and it started. But I had to shut it right off because those panels were bouncing around loose. I was afraid one was going to drop down and get in that blade and end up in the radiator. And that would have been bad news. I spent a portion of my day today now I got to climb up in here. Boy, this is a pain in the butt. can't believe this. There you go, people. That's a will and start the hard way. We have to do a starter. let's just, that's it right there, people. There's no nonsense about that. I'll take it. Oil's good. It's got that old non-detergent stuff in there with a little bit of moisture from sitting since '87, but I'll take it. I did it. Well, I got a little good news anyway. So I'll wait for it to cool down. I got a couple gallons of antifreeze over there I took out of the S10 before I sent it to the junkyard because I stole the radiator back out of it. I'll get some fluid in it and get it filled up. I don't want to add anything till it cools down. I'll get it all topped off again. Totally impressive. That engine's strong. She's a staying in there. It's got that big, thick, reusable copper gasket. I am really happy with this. That came out good. By the time I got some good news about something, been taking such a beating lately. Lost a few subscribers. I don't worry about it. The health scares got me really slowed down. I'm not going to bull crap you about that. I got to go in and get MRI done on Tuesday. My grandson's going to help me. We started putting the windows in. It took me 3 hours to put a vent window in that MG because I was stealing the parts off the donor door. Then it dawned on me, right behind where I was sitting on that little shelf behind the seats is 2 plastic bags with the parts for both doors. That was an intelligent move on my part. That's what I get for being distracted. You know, it is what it is. That's going to change anything. Like I was saying, Brittany is going under the cover. Just rather stick this up here on the bolt. So let it hang down. And it will run. That is what I needed. I needed some good news to perk me up. That's it. I may try to get this carburetor off of here safely and on the bench for a little bit and tighten up all the screws in it and spray it down and try to clean it a little bit more. As you see, it's working good, so don't mess with what's working. I just want to tighten it up because I do have a little bit of a leak in the bowl gasket here. I might be able to do it on the car. We'll see. Just to snug them. That is running, and that's not even timed in 100% right. I just got it in a rough position, set according to the way we used to do the old 265 Chevy small blocks when they someone put a timing chain in wrong or something, how you set everything. Did the same thing here. AI said it's clockwise. AI says you can see the top of your pistons coming up. AI is full of shit. On a flathead, the valves are on this side where the plugs are, so you're looking at the bottom of a valve, not the top of a piston. The pistons are over on that side. And the distributor turns counterclockwise. I don't know what made me think about that one night in there doing my little thinking and writing notes down. I come out here and pop that cap off the next day and touch it with a screwdriver, counterclockwise. So what I did is I shot some gas in all the holes, run them a little bit to break up any oil or anything was in there, which you saw smoking out. Cleaned the points, because these points are weird for a Packard. I want to go with an electronic ignition when it goes on the street, and a bunch of stuff's going to change. But I'll most likely run the 6-volt. It's kind of neat. Just it starts, it's gone. I think I can actually run an 8-volt battery in it, is what some people tell me that they do, just to give the starter a little bit of extra. If it starts dragging down a little bit, gives it a little bit more oomph, but not enough to make a difference. A 12-volt makes that starter and solenoid and everything work harder, and it runs hotter, which can cause a premature failure. This is impressive. Got some oil-soaked gaskets on here. I don't know why. Maybe someone dumped some oil on it, preserve the engine. The whole engine's got a coat of oil. I cleaned some of it off. Let me see how hot this thing is. Yeah, it's on the warm side. Mainly because there's no coolant running through it. So I'm going to cure that tomorrow. I do not want to pour coolant in this engine, due to the fact that if someone has pulled that thermostat and I dump cold antifreeze in there and it hits that hot block, I've cracked it. I'm out of engine. So how do you like about that? That is impressive. I don't know what to say, people. Put that electric fuel pump on there, build up a little pressure and get it rolling, and it just starts drawing and running. I'll probably run an electric, just so when I give it a kick, it'll get it a boost, make sure everything works good. Gas tank's going to be in the trunk, so I got to put a scatter shield behind my head. I don't like a gas tank in the same area that I'm at in the car. And it'll have its own little roll cage back there. Totally impressive. I am tickled to death. You can tell. After all the bad news I've got, to have this thing fire off without major issues, it's good. Oh! According to what I've heard, they started it and had it running a couple years ago. I don't know what a couple years is, and I don't know if their idea is driving around the farm with it or just trying to get it to run in the barn, which I doubt, because they use the straight 8 firing order, minus the last 2 cylinders, when they wired this thing. And they had it clockwise, just like I did, because that's all the information I had until I checked that radiator. Okay. And now that distributor, a little bit hot. I got a new piece of hose just about like that. There's something going on in the bell housing. There's a little bit of metallic. You could have something wrong with the pressure plate. I didn't check the clutch. It's not going to do any good because I unhooked the drive shaft, because in my shop no shit gets started without stands under it, so it can't take off on you, hurt somebody, destroy something. Ooh, I need a water pump. It's a good thing to know before it comes to the radiator. We'll have to look that up. Yep. See that play? That's scary. I thought I heard a little ting ting ting. It was this thing. Yeah, it's bolted tight. Yep. Like everything else back then, this is probably you buy a piece of it and insert it in there and rebuild it. So I will do that. I won't run it again until I get that taken care of. I do not want to throw that fan blade through that radiator. Because that would be an expense that I don't need. Being a zero budget build, I got to go down next week and do some horse trading for tires and a rack. Because if I can put a rack under here, it all depends on mounting that power steering pump right here. And this will swing down below it and tighten the belt. Then there's two short hoses down to the rack, and this can be modified, cut, weld a double D fitting on there, and then run it down to the rack. Then I can do away with the 3 on the tree when I'm ready. I don't want to do it right away due to the fact that I've got to find the transmission. It's not going to be easy to do. I want a T4 or a T5 or an AR5, and I got a guy that's going to take the input shaft, take this bell housing and transmission up there and lay them side by side. He's going to put it on his machines and lay it down. Only difference is I'll have to find the 10.5 or 12 inch clutch, or 11, whatever it takes, to fit the AR5, because the Packard is a 7 spine, big toothy thing. Boy, everything's good in here. I'm just tickled to death. I could just dance a jig, and I can't dance. People, that's the day. That's a wrap. I never expected to do that. I was just trying to follow up on what I already did to get it ready, like you do on any of them. And you saw the video previous that I showed you. Well, you turn the key, you push the S button for start, and the damn thing started. I worked 3.5 hours, and the only thing it would do was turn 3 times and quit. Something must have just triggered it off. That's impressive. Really great. I'll be looking on that water pump issue. Hopefully that's not going to be a $500 project. And like I said, when I get it ready for road ready and everything's done, it's probably going to have a 2-barrel on it, and it's going to have electronic ignition in it, And then when I get up and ready to go, I just swap out the transmission with the AR5 and be done with it. Because I want to renew all this to make it look nice. A little cloth on here. I'll find someone who can do a headliner sooner or later. I'm going to clean these windows, do a package shelf, do a sheet metal safety shield back there. You've got to remember, all that's going to be clear up here. All this, see that door? It's gone. So when I have enough room for my seat to move, and I'm good to go. I may have to leave the battery where it is. If it is, I'm going to have to figure a way to weld hinges on the back of it and maybe do a riv nut type system with some wing nuts that I can put in there and just clamp that panel down and do that. So if something ever happens, I can pull those two real quick and lay that seat back and get right to the battery. See, there's a gas tank right there. It's going to be used here. There's a gas tank under it. It is for a 1940 Packard 110. It's in excellent condition. I'm probably going to post it for sale, but I'm not there yet. I want to get that tank out and put a scope in it to make sure it's not rusted or cruddy inside. The outside looks great, but that could be misgiving. I don't want to mislead anybody. If there's something rusty or needs to be cleaned, I'll tell them. The outside of the tank looks like there's no rust or patina on it. There it is, people. It ran. It ran. Let me get my... I have no idea what this is off of. It's not off this Packard. Someone used it on here. I got the original Packard one inside the car. I'll just put this on here. Let's stop.